3, and at the end we had a point record, so I don't care about records. Of course, it's always better having positive records than the other way, but of course. But I told the players, it's not for us. The approach is not to stay unbeaten. The approach is to win the game.
And yet they are unbeaten for 17 games and could set a new club record in all competitions if they went 18 unbeaten. This run, as our stats guy was just telling me now, Ed, he was saying that, Stan, he was saying that it's 17 games unbeaten. The next best, the next best is Barcelona. Guess how many games? 7.
Wow.
This is impressive. Of Europe's top 5 leagues, this is impressive. Oliver Glasner doesn't sound too chuffed about it, but he could, put his name into the history books. And so could Crystal Palace. It's amazing.
They could do, and they've defied the odds on so many occasions, Crystal Palace, particularly against the big clubs as well. They were winners in the Community Shield, as we all know. They were winners of the FA Cup last season. They gave a lot of hope to some of the mid-ranking teams who think that maybe some of the bigger teams have got all the money, all the resources, but he makes the sum of the parts work. Did it at Frankfurt, doing it at Palace now, and I think some of the players at his football club are so underrated, not least Mateta up front. Mikel Arteta, we've just been talking about.
It's all kicking off here. Everyone's names. It's okay, welcome to the club.
But, I think this game is a fascinating game. The 2 remaining unbeaten teams in the Premier League are going up against each other. Palace, organised, efficient, power up front, defensive solidity and organisation at the back, protection for that back 4 as well in midfield. But Liverpool still not having found their stride just yet. They always find a way to win regardless of what happens because they dominate the ball. They've got creativity in that forward line. They're probably around about 50-60% of where they want to be. We haven't seen the best Liverpool yet, but I think that winning run that they've established and the motivation now to really put together the kind of run we saw last season from Liverpool and to put Arsenal out of it, put the pressure onto them, I think that will power them going into this match.
Yeah, absolutely scary thought that they aren't yet at their absolute best. Liverpool and yet won 5 from 5. If the Premier League table, which Liverpool currently lead, if the Premier League table was made up of games only from January, since the start of 2025, as it says at the top there, Crystal Palace are 4th.
Wow.
That is really, really impressive, wouldn't you say?
That's incredible. And I think just before they went on this run, they had at the start of last season, they had a very rocky beginning.
1 win in 5 months in the Premier League.
And I think it's almost just a huge testament to the football club to just put a bit of trust and calmness in allowing the process to run its course and let Glasner get his system, get the players to understand it, get the players he needs in certain positions. I think defensively, they're excellent. They're a great example of in and around in their own final third, defensively, in and around the penalty box. The 3 centre-backs are almost always, they're so narrow.
Yeah.
It's so difficult to create chances against them in that central area. And they've, I think, thrived off the fact that now a number of the top teams really don't like playing up against them. And I feel like they've grown into that. And then they have the excitement up front. Mateta went on a run last season and was just, love his celebration. He brings that little bit of excitement and energy that then I think also then lifts the fans to that next level. And it's exceptional how well he's done.
A player that really has come to life under Oliver Glasner. Let's look at Glasner's record and just put into context for you how well he has done at Crystal Palace since coming in. They have the joint, as you mentioned, joint best defensive record in the Premier League currently, alongside Arsenal, having conceded just twice so far this season, 3 clean sheets in 5 Premier League games. And there are a whole host of stats in all competitions, played 70 and won 32, losing only 15 with a win ratio of 45.7%. Honours won Community Shield. Of course, they beat Liverpool. And that sets up a second meeting between the two sides already this season. Quick thoughts on Glasner's record so far at Palace, and then the fact that they have this little bit of recent history with Liverpool.
Well, the Palace record is outstanding, as Rachel was saying, considering the start to the season. But the reason why they kept faith with him is because they knew what they had. They knew what he'd done at Frankfurt, and they knew that he was bringing that to Selhurst Park. In terms of the spice with Liverpool, it's interesting because they've got the psychological edge, if you like, of having beaten Liverpool and not being afraid of them in doing so. Liverpool will point to their record. I think it's 10 wins in a row in the Premier League at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace. And again, as I say, they're not yet at where they want to, but they're not at their best. Isak is still nursing his way into the side. He'll have to start now because Ekitike can't play, and that's going to be fascinating. Will he want the physical game that this could become at Selhurst Park?
Yeah, just to give you those exact numbers, 10 unbeaten at Palace, 9 wins and 1 draw. So it's been all Liverpool. Palace have won only 1 of 14 against Liverpool in the Premier League. So the numbers tell a very different story. The stats, the history tell a different story. But Palace right now are a tricky team. Liverpool have discovered that themselves. Let's talk about the Reds, though. And Darren said they're not even at 100% yet.
You think they're only at 50%?
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think?
Well, I think everyone is trying to find their rhythm. I think everyone will improve an incremental amount as the weeks come in. I think one of the best things about this period for Liverpool is they have found a way to win all these games. I think there's been moments where you've thought, potentially the points have been at jeopardy, but I just feel what that creates psychologically for a team is so powerful. I actually think Liverpool will be better off by only operating at 50-60%, let's call it. Because what they're gaining is this ability to score late in games, to know that they've found a way to battle through the tough moments, to ride their luck when they need to. That momentum is very special. You can only gain that by experiencing it. They've probably done it better than anyone so far this season, which is just another string to their bow that they probably don't necessarily need, but they'll take it.
I only say it because Wirtz is nowhere near as good as he was in Germany. Isak is still nursing his way into the side. Yeah. Salah hasn't been that great, even though he scored important goals so far this season. Gravenberch has probably been their best player, and Van Dijk has done all right, but not as well as he could have done. Their best matches were probably the last couple, particularly the Arsenal game where they were very, very defensively strong. But I still think that there is quite a way to go before they get to where they want to be.
Yeah, going to be a fascinating one. That can't wait to hear your predictions.
Premier League returns this weekend as Liverpool travel to Selhurst Park to face Crystal Palace in a contest that promises both intensity and intrigue. The Reds remain unbeaten in the league and arrive in South London with growing momentum, determined to keep pace at the top of the table. Arne Slot's side have combined attacking flair with defensive resilience in the early stages of the campaign. Mohamed Salah continues to lead by example, delivering both goals and assists, while Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz have injected pace and unpredictability across the front line. In midfield, Alexis Mac Allister and Dominic Szoboszlai provide balance, one dictating the tempo, the other breaking lines with energy and vision. Defensively, Liverpool face fresh challenges. The long-term injury to Giovanni Leone has thinned their options at the back, meaning Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate will shoulder added responsibility. Alisson Becker remains a calming presence between the posts, often proving decisive in tight encounters. Up front, new striker Alexander Isak is expected to feature despite fitness concerns, as suspended Hugo Ekitike misses out following his midweek dismissal. Crystal Palace, meanwhile, boast an impressive home record under Oliver Glasner, having gone unbeaten at Selhurst Park for several months. With Ismaïla Sarr and Yeremy Pino fit to return, the hosts will look to stretch Liverpool on the counter. Yet injuries to key figures, such as Cheikh Doucouré and Chadi Riyad, leave them light in certain areas. Jean-Philippe Mateta is likely to spearhead the attack, supported by flashes of creativity from Michael Olise, if he is fully fit. History, however, tilts heavily in Liverpool's favour. The Reds are unbeaten in their last 16 Premier League meetings with Palace, and Klopp's men have made a habit of grinding out results at Selhurst Park. For a side chasing silverware, anything less than 3 points would feel like a setback. With both form and firepower on their side, Liverpool enter as clear favourites. If their attacking trio clicks and the defence stands firm, another valuable victory could be within reach. Expect Palace to make it competitive, but the Reds' quality may ultimately prove decisive.